The church of Rosario is located in the historic center of San Salvador, in front of the Liberty Park. There has probably been a church there since 1545. In colonial times, Liberty Park was the main square, Plaza de Armas, and the main church was always near the square. It has significant importance because it was the place where the main streets, avenues, and squares shaped the historical center. Strong earthquakes in 1776 and 1798 destroyed the colonial building. Between 1808 and 1818, a new building was constructed and the presbyter, Dr. Jose Matias Delgado, hero of the independence of El Salvador, erected the parish church. The architectural study of El Rosario focused on how to provide better cultural and religious services. The architects began with a rectangle of 90 meters from the east to west and 23 meters from north to south. It was decided to use that space for building the church in a parabolic shape from east to west, avoiding obstacles such as columns that could obstruct its operation. The architect who was in charge of the construction oriented the main entrance to the Liberty Park, although it should have been at the center of the parabolic shape. The bell tower, the mezzanine, and the large atrium transition that are in the front of the park are the elements of the main entrance of the church. The original design had a monumental and a unique shaped bell tower. It was wider at the top than at the base. However, because of the damage that the earthquake of 1986 caused, it was more convenient to demolish it and rebuild. In the bell tower, people can find two bells. One is dedicated to Our Lady of the Rosary, dated 1921, and the other to St. Dominic, dated 1920, both built by the Trinity Foundation. The Great Room. Inside the church, visitors may experience a feeling of spiritual grandness. This effect is achieved by the amplitude of the enclosure, and mainly by filtration and the orderly succession of light with exquisite nuances of color reflected the windows to the cement covering the entire vault. The windows are the work of Fray Domingo Iturgaiz, Spanish Dominican friar. Several meanings are suggested by the symbols used. One of them is the wings of the Holy Spirit covering the church and thereby enriching the church with his gifts. The gifts are represented by tongues of fire portrayed in the colors in the windows. Also remember the rainbow, mentioned in the Old Testament. The book of Genesis is a sign of God's covenant with Noah after the flood, of God's promise to never again destroy mankind by the flood. The boat with stained glass windows allows you to feel the loving embrace of God. In the penitential chapel, there are cross sculptures installed on the floor on a continuous tier around them, presenting comprehensive scenes to the visitors. Its material is black iron on cement background, forming a semicircle moves from right to left, ending at the resurrection. These cross sculptures are made so as to express hands movements. The artist expresses the life and passion of Jesus represented in the stations of the cross. Headstones. Nowadays, the present church does not specify the exact place of the graves. The gravestones in the earlier church were grouped into a small room on the side of the Eucharistic chapel. Here, several tombstones are located, but they do not mark the place where certain people are buried. In the same room, there is one headstone that belonged to the father of the nation, the priest Jose Matias Delgado, and celebrating 100 years since independence was first sought after and attained. There are also other gravestones honoring a priest, Jose Miguel Funes, and some women of the early 20th century as Angela Lozano and Josefa Figueroa Aguilar Peralta. Some of them are located in the place which has no public access. This is Mario, and I hope you liked this video. Remember, you can donate to this channel, subscribe, and activate notifications.